Oh, there we go. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi.
There was no link in there.
Let me see if this is right.
Okay, someone texted me saying there was no link.
I'm trying.
So that is. Did everyone got the link, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see if someone texted me. I don't know the number. Maybe they signed up late or something. Oh, looks like everyone is here.
Your picture is frozen on the screen.
Yeah, that's because I'm looking back through the. I'm texting. I'm seeing who texted me to say they can't open the link.
That
That was you. Was it Sylvia?
was me, and I rebooted it, so it came up.
Okay.
Oh, and I have to tell you, I don't have AC, and I'm feeling the heat very badly. So if I cut out in the middle of class, I just need to go get someplace cold.
Yeah, that's a good good point to bring up.
Same here.
Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do, maybe guys, is very, very hot. If you've got no AC, I don't want you really working too hard. So we'll go, let me just think on the fly. Maybe let's go with some breathing drills. I haven't really taught you a lot of breathing drills, and breathing drills can be a really effective way of training the heart and the nervous system. So let's do that and see if that is a nice little way to help beat the heat. If you feel like doing more, then feel free. Afterwards, you've got the tools. You can do reverse lunges. I'll give you some stuff afterwards if you feel like you need to do more. But for my portion of the session, for what I'm going to do for you guys, let's do breathing drills, and then up to you if you want to do more. Now, just before I set you guys up, just give me 2 seconds. I'm having a lot of trouble with my phone these days, guys. I've been trying a whole bunch of different things, but it keeps dying on me. So I want to just make sure that I've set up a second power source.
Make sure that I have
And then, of course, guys, hydration is massive as well. When we're in this level of heat and humidity, staying hydrated is absolutely key and huge.
Owen, can I say also that if you have an iPhone, the Apple stores are open again, so you could get a battery.
I do not have an iPhone.
Oh, okay.
I have an Android. I'm trying to get a camera that works independently with my laptop. Okay, so breathing. We're going to start on the floor, okay? I'll just put you all on mute, so there isn't that background noise. All right, we're going to start on the floor on our back. All of this is going to be guideline, and like everything that I always do with you guys, the ultimate is just building your awareness, giving you the tools to do the work yourself, okay? So if you're not following me to a T, that's totally fine as long as you're picking up the concept, okay? So first thing, just positioning. What I want you guys to do is get your hands around your rib cage. All right? So I'm pretty much putting the front of my fingers, or my fingers to the front of my ribs, and my thumbs to the back of the ribs. Okay? And then just relax into that. Okay? So from here, what I want you guys to do is to inhale, and as you inhale, see if you can push your fingers away, out to the side. As you exhale, fingers are going to come together. Inhale, push the fingers to the side. Exhale, let them come together. Okay? Keep going with that while I talk, keep going. You want to try and make sure that it's the intake of air and the filling up of your lungs that is having the effect of widening your ribs, rather than just you trying to force the rib cage. So visualize pretty deep down what's happening. As you inhale, I want you to visualize your lungs filling up. And as you exhale, just imagine your lungs emptying out. Pretty much like a bagpipe. Okay? So keep thinking about that. And it's not uncommon that you might start to feel some cramp, maybe in the back of the rib cage, or maybe in between the ribs, because we're really trying to move the ribs and the rib cage. Okay, go for about 4 or 5 more breaths. Also not uncommon if we start to get a little lightheaded when we start breathing with this level of focus. See if you can keep that inhale, exhale through the nose. And good. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick little scoot through. Why is my phone keep dying? So I'm going to go just look through your pictures. Just give me a thumbs up if we could feel that. Thumbs down if we didn't feel anything. Okay, great. Excellent. Super. Okay, so now what I want you to do is to start getting the pelvis to move a little bit, just like we do every day. Okay, so this time, as we inhale, we're going to think 12 o'clock, pubic bone to chest. And the same concept, ribs out. So keep the hands where they are. Exhale, let the pelvis go towards 6 o'clock, little arch in the back, ribs together a little bit. And then inhale. Pubic bone to the chest, ribs out to the side. Exhale. Ribs together. Release the lower back. Back and forth through those two pieces. At certain points, you might feel anxious. That's totally normal. That's totally fine. Just keep breathing through those pieces. Good. Couple more breaths. That's it. Notice if your chest is rising up really high instead of your ribs out to the side. And last breath. Nice. Good. Okay. Excellent. I'm doing a little scoot through of you guys again. Thumbs up if you felt it. Excellent. Nice. Good. Super. Okay. So now, what I want you guys to do is we're going to come to an all fours position. And here, I want you to try and round your lower back. So you're going to pull your pubic bone up towards your chest. Okay? And that portion in the back right here, right where my hand is, that you're going to try and open up as much as possible. Right? Maybe let me explain something before we go into that. It might help with visualization. Okay? So your pelvis, the back of your pelvis, it looks like a butterfly. Okay? Now, when I'm here and my back is arched, the back of the pelvis sinks inwards, okay, and it collapses. So imagine where my thumbs are my spine, and then my palm is the pelvis, okay? So now, when I'm all collapsed inwards, my spine is getting really constricted. There's not a lot of space. So we're going to try and imagine that we're opening up the back of the pelvis, opening up the wings of the butterfly. And what that's going to do is that's going to make more space as you inhale, right? As you inhale, it's going to think about what happens. Your diaphragm drops down as you inhale. That's a big muscle that comes across the ribs like that. And as you inhale, it drops down to create space for your lungs to expand. Now, if my pelvis is all crunched up, I don't have a lot of space for my guts to go. So if we can keep that pelvis open, as the diaphragm pushes down, it gives me space for the guts to go into the pelvis, okay? So, sorry for the little bit of the anatomy lesson, but it might help with the understanding of the movement. So now, we're going to go for that little rounding of the lower back to try and facilitate more of that opening up at the back of the pelvis. It's very easy for us to round our upper back like a scared cat. I don't want that. I want you to focus on the lower back. So again, it's that pubic bone to the chest. Okay? Inhale. And visualize the back of the body opening up as much as you can as you inhale. Exhale. Try and keep that fullness in the back. Inhale. Try and increase it. Exhale. Try and keep it. Keep going, guys. I'm just going to have a little look-see at you. Nice. Good. Good. Can we keep increasing that lower back? Rounding. Nice. Good. And it should, you might even get to the point where we feel a little stretch in between the vertebrae in the lower back. If we get there, that's great. Couple more breaths. Remember that big, big, strong inhale. And then it's a loose exhale, but it's still strong. But it's you want it to come from deep in your body. 2 more breaths. Nice. Excellent. Okay. How about that? That's going to be a lot harder to feel. It's a little bit more nuanced. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm talking nonsense, so you felt it. Nice. Good, Alicia. Middle of the road, Colette. Okay. Matt and Mark. Thumbs up. Excellent. Good. Doug, thumbs up. And Sylvia, thumbs up. Excellent. Brilliant. Okay. So now, let's work on trying to move with the breathing. So previously, or most of the time, when I work on a slightly different type of breathing with you, I work on a breathing that we use to brace. That's not an everyday, all-day type of breath. That's when we're loading. When we're putting load on the system, I'm helping you use the breath as a kind of your own weight belt. All right. Now, this is more of a breathing that we can use all the time. So what we're going to do is start working our way up. We went from our back, all fours. Now we're going to go half kneeling, right? Or actually, no, let's do something different. We'll stay in all fours and we'll start moving our limbs, okay? So we'll just go with that. Can we go back to that same place? But can we start to add in a little bit of movement, just side to side with the hand, like nothing crazy. But does that movement change how we're breathing? More than likely it will, and that's totally fine, okay? That's totally fine, it's normal. What I want you to do is, as the movements continue, as you continue your breath, just trying to get back to that place you were when we were static. So you're just shifting that focus. Yeah, if your wrists need a break, no problem, just up you come, that's no problem. And remember, it's really not about the movement, it's just we're throwing in a little bit of arm flexion just to try a different variable. As we're doing something, can we also focus on our breath? Eventually, we want that breathing to be natural, so we don't have to focus on it. Okay, couple more reps, and done. Okay, so harder, thumbs up, you were able to do it. Middle of the road, thumbs down, not able to do it. Okay, good, nice, excellent. Okay, super, super. Okay, so now we're gonna come upwards. Everything always gets harder the further we get from the floor, okay? And I just listened to a fascinating study on stress and fear of movement. Chronic stress is related to, can have an effect on a part of the brain that produces your fear hormones. And that can limit your movement. And after a lifetime of stress, they're starting to look at people who are stuck inside, who are afraid to do things. Okay? And that's fascinating because the breath helps us control our stress. If we can bring stress down, we can drop those hormones that are creating fear. Those fear hormones are the things that make us say, oh no, I'm going to fall over. Or, oh no, I can't go outside today. This might happen, or that might happen. And what all that leads to is a snowball effect. Less movement, because you're not going out and about. Okay, and then you get more and more stress because you're not moving. More and more stress, more and more fear. And it just keeps spitballing. So even if we're not moving, bringing it back to the breath is a great way to manage stress. Why I started talking about that now, the further we come off the floor, the nervous system is under more stress and fear of falling and therefore hurting itself. Okay? So that's why we're coming slowly from our back, all fours, half kneeling. And you're going to notice the higher we come up, the harder it is to get that breathing. So I've got one knee up and I'm going to take my hands to my ribs again. Okay? And I'm going to go inhale. Try and push those ribs out with my breath. Exhale, they come together. Can we do inhale, exhale through the nose? Keep going, keep breathing. I'm just going to check in on you guys. And remember that idea, the reason those ribs are going out, again, create space for that diaphragm to drop down. And if we don't create that space in the rib cage, where do we get stuck? Up in the chest, in that shallow breath. Good. Couple more reps. And done. Okay. Excellent. So now I'm going to have you do a couple of different things so we can feel different positions. All right? So we're going to go into that half kneeling position. You can change legs. All right? And what I want you to do, I want you to push your butt back. Right? Like you're Kim Kardashian or whoever. Really like arch your butt. Throw it back behind you like you're a duck. Okay? And now I want you to put those hands on the ribs. And try and inhale to that same level that we've been doing. Okay? Now, I want you to tuck your butt underneath. Pull the pubic bone up to the chest like we always practice. Now, try the inhale. And the movement of the rib cage. Okay? Now what I want you to do, I want you to round your back. Scrunch over. Like you're a mean old man. Right? And now, same thing. Try and get that breath with movement of the rib cage. Okay? And done. So, thumbs up if you could feel a difference between the three moves. Ideally, the breathing in the middle move, when we had the pelvis tucked underneath us, was our strongest breath. So thumbs up if that was our strongest breath. Yeah, good. Alicia, how about you? Down. Where was your strongest breath? Okay. And then Doug and Sylvia, strongest breath in the middle. Excellent. Excellent. Great. So that's just giving you that sign of awareness, that idea of how we move the pelvis is important to how we breathe. Okay? We're going to make it harder again, and we're going to do what's called tall kneeling. Okay? So now, again, we're getting higher, or we're getting less support. So as we inhale, see if we can tuck the butt underneath, create that space in the back for the ribs to move into and the lungs to expand. And then exhale, ribs together. And now, you experiment yourself with little changes in the pelvis. See if you can find the optimal spot for you. Because every pelvis, every spine is going to be relatively unique, just like a fingerprint almost. It's pretty much the exact same human to human, but it's the subtle, tiny little differences that make our fingerprints completely unique. So this is where you're exploring your own body to see what's the best breath pattern you can come up with. Okay? Couple more breaths. And then we'll take a little break there. Any questions at this point?
I don't really have a question, but I find that my breath is the best. I have a very slight arch. When it's very slight, but there's a little arch, that's when I feel like my body can fill up the best.
Okay, now, just by where you made that hand gesture, right? Are you filling up your chest? Is that what you feel, an expansion of your upper rib cage? Sorry, I lost your video. You went on mute, I can't.
Sorry. So it's my chest, my abdomen, as well as my back.
Okay, great. Super.
Feel it the best.
Super, super. Okay, great. The only reason I ask is because this is something that we can kind of confuse a little bit. You might think we're getting a really big breath, but it stays up here. So notice yourself if your shoulders start to rise, right? If the chest explodes out and your shoulders rise, it might feel like a really big breath, but what's happening is we're not accessing the lower portion of the lung. We're not pushing, and I'm not saying this is happening to you, Alicia, I'm just using this as another point of awareness for you guys. That's going to happen if we're not pushing the diaphragm down. But the diaphragm doesn't go down and open up the rib cage at the lower portions. We're going to get everything from up here. What's the problem? Well, we're going to limit our oxygen intake, and we're going to use our secondary breathing muscles. The muscles that should just help out a little bit, not really be primary. The primary guy is that diaphragm, pelvic floor, everything I always talk about when it comes to the core. The secondary guys, your neck, your scalenes, the muscles in between the ribs. And that gets super tight. And that then has the effect of pulling us inward. So just check out, guys, as well. And thanks for bringing this up, Elisa. But check out to see if it is this as a big breath instead of down here. Okay? So next up, we're going to go standing. And again, don't be surprised when you find that this is the hardest position. Okay? Just like before, hands on the ribs. Pull the pubic bone towards the chest. Exhale. Let it go, slide arch. Inhale. Pubic bone towards the chest, big expansion of the rib cage. Exhale. Slight arch, compression of the rib cage. And just pay attention now to the shoulders. Same thing as what I was talking about earlier. Notice if it's harder than when we were on the floor. Should be. It's normal.
Yeah.
See if you can feel, when we were on all fours, we were doing that rounded lower back positioning. See if you can feel back. And what we might do for that is change where our hands are. Let's put one hand on the stomach. And let's put one hand on the lower back. And as we inhale, can we feel that expansion in the back? Right. Good, guys, stick with that. Keep trying to enhance it. And then take a little break, okay? I'm just gonna check in. Thumbs up what we were feeling. You could feel it kind of. Thumbs up. Meh. Or thumbs down. Okay, good. Alicia and Doug, how was that for you guys? Meh and thumbs up. Okay, cool. So even with the meh, as long as we kind of understand the concepts, we're doing pretty good. Okay?
Okay.
What? Sorry, I didn't hear that. Oh, is that? Did someone say something? No? Oh, you're on mute, Sylvia. You're still on mute, Sylvia. Here, let me see if I can unmute you myself.
I'm a mouse amateur. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, got you.
Okay. I just wanted to say this is a revelation for me because I have padding between my ribs and I didn't think I could feel my ribs, but I can. I can feel this movement. So I'm appreciating this a lot. Also, it's a little bit like pranayama. I love this breathing.
It's fantastic stuff. And the rib cage is so important because it does get stuck. But just think of the size of the thing. I mean, it's huge. It's our trunk, right? It's our body. Like, it's massive. If you look at the carcass of an animal or whatever, you know, the rib cage is the animal. Everything is housed inside that. So the appropriate movement of the rib cage has huge effects, not just from a fitness and movement point of view, but from a general health point of view. So you also got to think about the space we need for proper organ function. So you think of all of what we've got going on, our intestines, our stomach, our guts, our lungs, our liver, all of these really vitally important pieces of our body. If they start getting squeezed and squished, that means they're not receiving blood flow. And blood flow brings oxygen, it brings basic nourishment and refueling to the body and to these organs. So this stuff is massive and it can really help because it applies to everything we're doing. What I want you guys to do now is to see how it's going to affect your posture. And this is going to be the most nebulous concept. It's going to be the hardest to feel, okay? So oftentimes when we think stand tall, we think military style, chest up, strong man, blah, 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 right? That actually makes us shorter. So I'm standing up tall, military style, and look at how I'm squishing my lower back. See that? What I want you guys to do is to get into that same rigid military posture. Then get those hands on the ribs and try and breathe and feel how hard it is to breathe like that. Okay? Good. Now, instead of puffing your chest up, let's see if we can do the opposite. Pull the pubic bone towards the chest and think about puffing your back up. Now, as I said, this is going to be nebulous, the hardest to feel. But switch your focus completely, and instead of thinking chest out, think your chest is on your back, and you're pushing that out. Then start your deep breathing and see if you can feel a difference. It should almost feel like your entire spine is expanding. That space, a hollowness that you mightn't have even known existed, is filling up. Okay, all right, take a little break. How does that one feel? Yay or nay? Thumbs up, excellent. Okay, moving on to the next screen. Alicia, so, Doug, thumbs up. Okay, cool. So let's just work on that one a little bit more so we can really feel it. Let's go back to all fours again, to that safer position for the nervous system. That means it'll allow us more space. And what I want you to do, we're not going to go for a huge rounding of the back, and we're not going to turn into that scared cat. I want you to think, push the floor away softly with your hands, and that will create a little bit of space in your upper back. So the first thing you're doing is just pushing the ground down until you feel a little stretch in the upper back. And then we're going to inhale, pubic bone to chest. Exhale, let it go softly and slightly. Inhale. Pubic bone to chest. Exhale, let it go softly and slightly. And keep going with that. And what I want you to do yourself is explore how you can do that, how you can expand the back, but also start to feel counterintuitively how your head is going to move further away from the body. Basically, your neck is lengthening. Nice, Colette. I could see that was a noticeable difference. That's amazing. Yes, I can see that working, Alicia. So even if you're not feeling it just yet, you're onto the right track. Couple more breaths, guys. And good. Okay. Alicia, how about now? Is that any better? Still so-so. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where you should be feeling. Yeah, and that might be limiting the sensations you're feeling with your breath because that is kind of overriding. But that's what I want. I want those shoulders to get away from the ears, and you feel a stretch in the upper back. Okay. Everyone else, thumbs up. Feel that? Feel the kind of neck getting longer. Excellent. Okay, so let's come back up onto our feet. Now, the next thing we notice with posture, and this is something I find myself in all the time. I'll come closer so you can see. Right? If I let that military style posture happen and the chest drives up, look at what happens to my neck. My chin goes in the opposite direction. So it's like a triangle. You drew a line from my chin, and you drew a line from my chest. Boom, they're moving in opposite directions. See that? And that's quite obvious. That's quite common. A lot of people have had that. Now look at the back of my neck. It's completely collapsed. So now if I can get my good breathing pattern and my ribs in place, and then I can draw the length of the neck, I can draw the chin down and increase the length of the neck, my posture is instantly changed. You've seen me just grow 2 inches. So even though I think I'm at my height or my tallest, but I'm reaching up, I'm not. I'm actually at my tallest here. Okay? And again, you can probably see that on screen. I let it go. And now I'm probably at my real height. Okay? So, let's see if we can start to feel that, and we make that movement. Pubic bone to the chest, chin back, collarbone wide, and I'm breathing into that upper back. If you feel it, fantastic. Your next place, your next port of call is to try and feel it without tension. So we might be forcing ourselves into that position. Can we relax it a little bit? Can we keep that position, keep breathing without the same level of stiffness? That's the real key, and that's the lifelong practice. Couple more breaths. Till you literally look a foot taller. Same, Sylvia. Nice. Okay, cool. How does that feel? Getting it? Nice, Alicia. Lovely. Doug, how about you? Super. Super.
Feels
Matt
great.
and Mark, what's going on? Yeah, thumbs up. Great. Colette?
Feels great.
It does, doesn't it? It's a decompression. It's just a release of everything. So we're going to go to the last place. And the last place is move. Actually, let's go. No, let's add in balance. Let's add in balance first. Okay. So just come to the wall. So it's not real balance, right? I'm just putting my hand on something. I'm just going to take my foot ever so slightly off the floor. So I'm just on one foot. And I'm going to see if I can do the same posture and the same breathing. Now, because we're fighting balance, because the nervous system is now under threat, it's not going to be as free. It's not going to give you the same room to move. Good. Nice. And relax. Okay. When you're ready, try the other side. Nice. Good. Okay. Take a little break. So, all of these concepts that are applicable to anything that we're doing throughout our day, right? Anytime you find yourself completely frazzled and lost and full of all sugar up, which happens to us throughout the day often, add in some of these breathing drills and just bring your focus to the breathing. Okay? The other thing that I was listening to in that seminar this morning, it talks about the cycle of stress leading to inflammation. And these inflammatory markers, cytokines, inflammatory cytokines, lasting in the body up to 2 hours after the stressful event. Okay? And that's in a controlled study. That's when the stressful event is clearly over. Most of our stress isn't over. Rent is due every month, right? That's a big stress. It is for me anyway. That doesn't disappear. So imagine that we do have these chronic type stresses. That's always going to be affecting how we breathe. But we can revert that by focusing on how we do breathe. And oftentimes, we don't realize how much control we have over our nervous system. We're just like, oh, that's just automatic. That's just the way I am. Everything is trainable to a certain degree. Everything is a skill to a certain degree. Okay? You take it to the level of a monk or Buddha or whatever up on the mountains, meditating 24 hours a day, surviving off a half a grain of rice a month or whatever. That's the skill that they've built all the way up here. They weren't born with that, they built that. We can do a little bit of that. That's what we're trying to do with general training in itself, is just build up our skills, not to be the highest performing athlete in the world, but just to be the best performing version of yourself. So, let's see if we can do another complicated task, which we usually put as automatic, but you know, we've been training for the last 2 months on gait and how to move, how to walk. So then we put the two of these things together. And it doesn't have to be crazy, let's just go up and down the yoga mat. length of the yoga mat, and just see. Can I feel that breathing? Can I feel that posture as I walk? Okay, so that's doing it well or as best as you can. Let's do the opposite so we can feel when it's not optimal. Let's imagine we're a duck, we're Kim Kardashian, right? The front is just sticking out and really squeezing that lower back, big arch. See where your breathing goes now as you try to walk. See where your chin goes, where your neck goes. Where you're now feeling sensation. For me, I'm feeling it in my lower back, I'm feeling it in my neck, feeling it in my traps. Right? I've never come across anyone in general life who doesn't have tight traps. One of the reasons is probably this: how we're breathing, how we're moving, how we're breathing. Okay? Let's do the opposite. Let's be the angry old man. Round our back like crazy. Try and breathe as we walk. Okay. Notice those differences. Let's go back. Try and find optimal again. And just feel, even if you can't feel your rib cage expand the same way you would if we were standing and lying on the floor, feel how the tension isn't in the same places. In fact, feel how you mightn't have any tension at all. Okay? Awesome. So all of this goes back to the general idea. The movements we do all the time now are the movements we're going to have access to down the line. We are not stuck in certain patterns yet. But the more we stay in a pattern, the more we are stuck in that pattern. Okay? So if I, over the years, and I know my pattern, right? When I get lazy and I get tired and I'm not thinking, this is my pattern. This is where I'm weak. This is where I fall. Okay? And if I looked at a picture of me when I was 20, this is probably how I would be standing. Even though I thought I was in good shape, I was an athlete, blah, 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 blah. Shoulders rounded, spine collapsed, ribs collapsed, all of that. Okay? It's constant work, it's constant training for me to stand up straight. If I hadn't started that work when I was 20, I presume the work to get out of it would be much harder. So every decade, it probably gets harder and harder. It only makes sense that that is the case. However, the inverse of that is true as well. The more I work on it, the more it becomes my natural position. And that doesn't stop at any age. It might become harder, it might become slower, but we always have an opportunity for growth. As long as we're living, there is signals firing from the brain, there's blood flow, and we have some bit of muscle. Yes, it becomes harder as we to develop muscle as we get older, and at some point it becomes impossible. But we still have muscle in our body that can be trained. So we're not going to be a bodybuilder, we're not going to pack on new muscle, but we have the muscle that is there. The muscle that is helping us move is there, so we can train it. I hope that makes sense a little bit, because oftentimes people say things like, oh, my day's gone, or it's just not for me. It's just not going to happen. It just takes time, and like one exercise class like this, a breathing class like this, all that does is help you see how you can apply it all the time. It's not going to change anything straight away, but hopefully it will give you a glimpse or open up your awareness that you can now apply it. And that application over and over and over and over and over again is what creates change. Right? Any questions? No? Awesome. So if you were, tuning in and you were expecting a little bit more of a workout, develop your own workout. You know the goal of everything I try and do with you guys is to build autonomy. So if you feel like you need something more, start with core work, then move to a little bit of strength work, maybe like the reverse lunges we've been doing, or picking the weight up off the floor if you feel like you have enough. And sometimes with this breathing drill, it's nice to just stay where you are and feel this, then you're good. Just keep practicing throughout your day. Alrighty? Awesome. I recorded this one as well, guys, so I'll post it up on YouTube if you want to return to it at any point.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Owen.
Okay, guys.
See you Thursday.
Have a good one. Bye. Good to see you, Alicia. Hope you enjoyed your vacation.
Oh, I did. Thank you.
Good. Bye, guys.
Bye.